Alright, hello again everybody. This is Mr. Everything. I'm coming at you with a Wargaming miniature live stream. If you're watching it live, enjoy the show. I'm just going to take my time finishing up these tiles. This is going to be episode, I believe, number 5 in my series of these tiles. And this might be the final episode for these tiles. And then when I go to work on some advanced tiles or different tiles, I might come back and do some more, probably YouTube videos and not necessarily a live stream. But this live stream I wanted to do to show you guys about how much time it would take to sink into these tiles to so you could get a good idea about how, so without it being edited out. In this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to align these the way they're supposed to look on the table, and then we're also going to do some finishing touches to a few of them just to make them pop or stand out just a little bit more. There's different techniques I'm going to be doing, and some of them are experimental. Okay, in today's, what else I'm going to do is, well, let me rephrase that. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting some of this flock down. I don't know if you can kind of see that flock, but it's a flowery, it's called meadow flowers or something like that. I'm going to be putting some of this flock on in spots, like I've already done right there. That was a test spot to see if the flowers look pretty good on there, and I think it does. So I'm going to use this to disguise things that I didn't like. Also, I'm going to add to like cityscapes and stuff like that just to give it a little bit more color and less bland. Okay. I'm also going to use, I have a mixture of clump foliage. I made some trees a while back, and whenever the clump foliage falls off those trees onto my table, I collect it and I put it in this box. Now this clump because I know I'll always be able to use it at some future point, I always keep all the little discarded pieces. Except for this little piece of wood. I'm throwing it away. There we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of clump foliage down inside these grooves of the roads. I don't know, or I haven't thought about it. I've been thinking maybe I'll put some clump foliage on the edge of the city streets or whatever. I'm not sure. The main city tiles, the transition between the cobblestone and the grass needs to have a little grass along the edge of the cobblestone just so that it transitions better, like that piece over there. Another thing, one more thing. These cobblestones are shiny. I don't know if you can see the shine. Yeah, they're right there. You can probably see the shine on the camera. I don't like that shine. This is a shiny paper. What I have done is I've taken one of these tiles outside and I've sprayed it with Tester's Dull Coat. I'm letting that dry. We're going to check on that in about 15-20 minutes. We're going to go out there and check on it to see if it ruined it. We're going to see if it dulled it or if it had no effect. If it dulled it down, perfect. If it ruined it, shame on me. I'm going to have to make another one. Or if it had no effect, then I won't bother spraying any of these others. Alright, so the first step that I want to do is I want to align these tiles the way that they're going to look on the table. And then we'll go through and we'll do all this advanced work. So I'm going to move all these materials off to the side, out of the way. Alright, so a lot of these tiles are for the Son Bridge, and not all of these tiles. I have tiles up there that are for Son Bridge as well. So I'm going to take all the tiles that are for all all the tiles that are for the Arnhem Bridge, the Arnhem Battle. I'm going to take those off and put them off to the side. Okay, little sticker to the paper. Okay, now the rest of these, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about the rest. Okay. Okay, so in this whole process, I had drawn out, I don't know if you can see that in the glare, but I had drawn out maps of both of them and where the tiles needed to go and what they needed to look like. So let's get started. It better stick to the paper than to the table. Okay. We're doing a that. Yeah. Piece like that. Now we've already seen the river. We don't need to worry about the river. The river is in a previous video. You would have seen that. Okay. And this one would be the transition away from the gravel towards the dirt. Not this piece. That's on. That's on. That's on. Oh yeah, that's definitely on. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Okay, that's minus the bridge pieces, which we know already are done and they look good. Okay. Right. So I'm going to have to get all the tiles down and split them into two halves. I think I'll put that one in the Arnhem. There we go. The straight one is the one I want to keep for this bridge. Okay. And I had put it right here. Okay, so far so good. There you are. There you are, my lovely. Okay, right there. Well, it looks like I put another one of those. Looks like I put another one of those on. Okay. We'll see if that's actually true or not. Okay, picking this tile up, I just broke a little bit of the cork off right there. See, nothing but a fix. Which reminds me I should probably bring some glue with me to the event, just in case during shipping or setting up or anything like that we break anything. Okay, well that's all the roads on this one. This one must go on Arnhem. And then the piece I've sprayed is the corner there. It's outside. Okay, now this piece doesn't have the green on the outer edge, but it's still going to be a wooded area. So maybe I need to go through and add a little green so people will know. But it's pretty obvious. Once I put trees inside of it, it'll be pretty obvious, I would think. Now one of these has 3, there we go. And that goes right there. And then this guy will go here. You can kind of get the idea that this area over here is heavily wooded. You should get that idea. Okay. We need a half. Oh, hang on. Here. I needed a half width of wood, so there it is. Right on top. Remember, that's the road. Pull that. That for them. Okay. This one goes right there. This one goes right there. What am I doing? Where am I on? Ah, the lid. Okay. And one with the woods right there, which I think I put down over in the Arnhem area. I did. Three of those. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, I think it was actually this guy. And this guy was supposed to go there. There we go. It's alright either way. There we go. And then this guy right here. That looks like these are all going to go to the other map. The Arnhem map. Alright, so let's do the first things first. On the roads, you can see that there's clump foliage on this guy already. Not very much, only these three pieces it looks like. Let's go ahead and hit up, and this one's got quite a bit. It's got a couple there, a couple there. I want to put more clump foliage all the way down the road. So let's go ahead and put up my glue. Get my box of clump foliage. And let's put a piece right there. How about a piece right there? Maybe a couple of pieces. Piece right there. Or a few pieces. Right on the end. Usually what I do is I put it like close to the end of the green. The light green. Let's go ahead and add a few more onto this one. There, maybe in that crack there. Okay, this is Aleene's tacky glue, so it's gonna basically clump up, and then it'll dry clear, but it's not going to dry before I have time to do all the clump foliage pieces that I wanted to do on the road. Okay, so that should be enough that I can do on the road. Now I want to mix it up. I don't want to just have one color, so there's a lot of different colors in here. So we take something like that and push it down into the glue. Make sure it gets a good grip. Maybe a little bit of green with it. Maybe a big piece of clump foliage. Where's that long one? There we go. We can mix it with another color. And that's really all it is. Just when you get your clump foliage, make sure it's just one piece and not a bunch of pieces stuck together. And when you got the one piece, lay it down on the glue and just push it down into it. See, like this was kind of like two pieces stuck together, so I had to separate it. And you can see I'm just grabbing different ones and going randomly. Not in any particular order. Honestly, this might have been better to be done before I sprayed. So that the spray would actually grab it as well and ensure nothing pops off. We're going to come back and do this again on the Arnhem roads as well. I'm looking for a good piece. It's a good piece. It's a really good piece. It also gives that tile a three-dimensional look because you can see how these stick up so high. Okay, just make sure all these are tucked in. Glue's got a good grip on them. Okay, now that's not where it ends. Right there we got like a big divot. I think I want to put some clump foliage in there. And maybe right here next to it. Only the really big divots, you know. And it's really just to disguise the fact that there's a hole there in the cork. Just glancing around at the rest of the cork, there's little pieces here and there, but nothing as glaring as that one was. Yeah, the rest of this looks good. I don't mind these little bitty holes, you know. All right, so that was my clump foliage. Now I'm going to use some Loctite spray adhesive, and we're going to put some flowers. Not everywhere, just in certain areas. Just places that I think might make it seem a little bit more realistic. And these are wildflowers, so they're not, or spring meadow flowers or whatever, so really they could go anywhere. But understand that there will be a building here, a couple of buildings there, a building here, and then a couple of buildings back here. So I don't want to necessarily waste time putting the flowers under where I think the buildings are going to be, but I also want it to kind of, I do want it to exist, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put a little bit of flowers right here. Okay, and then all I do is just in that wet area, just sprinkle random, very thin flowers. I think I'm going to do it over here as well. Just to make these look kind of like they belong together. I think I'm going to put some flowers back here. Whoa, had that thing turn around. I mean, you can see the sawdust here, same color, but there's no flowers in it. So I was thinking maybe I could disguise that a little bit by putting some flowers inside there. There, now it looks like it's got flowers. Put some right here. Now I'm not putting it in the trees. Could. I mean, you can do that. I'm going to put something like right here at that three-way. Just a little bit of something. Nothing heinous. Maybe, okay, maybe a little bit more. How about right here? This is not going to be a building, so maybe I could put something out here. And I'm letting it fall and kind of randomly just drift to the ground. Okay. Okay. Now I thought about putting flowers along the edge of the walkway here. I'm going to do it. Okay. That might have been a little excessive. Yeah, what do you think? Kind of disguises that a little bit. I think I can do that on both of these. Now I'm reaching. Nothing too, nothing too pronounced, just a little extra highlight. Doing both sides of the river. One at a time. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so now before we move on, what I'd like to do is go get that tile and see what the dull coat actually, what kind of effect it had on it. Okay. Comparatively, that's a little bit dull, but it still has a little bit of a shine. And I think the reason why it's got a little bit of a shine is because it's just smooth as hell. But it did dull it down a little bit. Okay. While I have this here, let's go ahead and apply a little bit of this. And then I'm going to put some out here. Yeah, I do believe I have these on the wrong side of the river. Yeah, that goes there. And this one actually goes there, like that. Okay. Maybe a little bit right there. I don't want. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of highlight. that's it. That is, minus the river and the bridge and the buildings and the trees. I don't think I'm going to put very many walls or hedges on this. Those are all going on the other bridges, other battles. Okay, so that looks really good. Let's take this down and let's put the Arnhem one up. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to transport these into like 2 different tubs or boxes or something. One for the Arnhem Bridge and one for the Son Bridge. That way it'll be easy to figure out which ones go onto which table. And I'm not concerned about the spray adhesive and the flowers when I stack them. If some spray adhesive gets caught on the bottom and some of the flowers get caught on the bottom, that's okay. What that'll actually do is that flowers will basically make the bottom more rough, and so when I lay it on a table on a blanket, it won't want to slide around because it'll have traction underneath. And if not, it's no big deal. It doesn't matter either way. Let me get a drink. And again, guys, if you're watching this live on Twitch or YouTube right now and you're putting comments into the comment box, I do not have the chat open, so I don't actually see that. Okay, now because this table is actually all new, I'm not going to be able to get all 6 feet on the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of fudge it a little bit. Okay, I do think that goes over there, I think. I think that goes generally in that area, generally in this area. You notice I'm going to try to get it to go off the table a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. This is going to go. Oh, actually, I think this butts right up against it. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm confused. I'll have to look at my map because I'm confused. Okay, this should be the end of the table. This should go halfway, right? Totally so far so good. This should be the end of the table, right? This should be right in the middle. Maybe like that. Right. That's the end of the table over there. We're getting there. We're getting there. This one is going to go here. Right. This one's going to go there. This is going to go there. It's going to go there. Okay. Now almost all the imperfections on these tiles here are going to be covered with buildings because this whole thing is pretty much going to be covered with buildings. Just 100%, pretty much. Okay. So there's one and then a turn. Right? And then one and a turn. Okay. One. And then this guy goes right there. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay. And then we got two more roads that go off the table over here. Okay, good deal. This crazy one is going off the table there. Okay, so far so good. Those are all the off the table ones. This one is off the table there. Okay, yeah, I could do it that way. I'll just put it like that. Yeah, you get the idea. Okay, this is going to go there. Let's get my three. I should have three orchards. It's these three right here. And the three orchards are going to go 1, 2, 3. Because they'll be like that. Makes it easier on me to figure it out. Okay. I should have some half pieces. Ah, they're there. Okay. Now right along the road here, there's a couple of wooded pieces. There's a third wooded piece. Okay, maybe I'm going to use that one as a wooded piece. Okay, so that one goes right there. Looking good. We've got two trails. Maybe only one trail. Doesn't matter. Because the rest are all basically clear. Oh, why is there a big gap? That's why. That goes there. That goes there. So it goes on the end. And then that'll go there. Okay. Yeah. So that's the Arnhem battlefield. Right. Tons of buildings. There's going to be one building in the corner of the crossroads. It's going to be fields out here with fences and hedges and things. And then there's going to be some fields in here. And then there's going to be an orchard over there, woods. It's very, very phase line looking is what this one's going to be kind of like. Like this will be the first objective is to, take the woods on the other side of the road or something like that. And then the next objective might be to take the town or something like that. That's how that's going to be. All right, so now let's touch these up to make these guys look pretty good. Most of these two already have the clump foliage, so I don't really have to worry about that. But I do want to put some clump foliage on some of these others. Oh, that's not going to work. Not with the cap on. Yep, I've already got it. Okay. Sweet. Clump foliage is basically just foam, colored foam, and what's good about that is if it sticks up from the tile, when you lay something on it, it'll just compress. And then hopefully when you take the pressure off of it, it'll pop back into life. Now I've got a little bit of lichen in here. Not a whole lot, but I do have a little bit of lichen. And I also have some trimmings from when I made those wheat fields. This is basically what they call it, the hemp or whatever it is that they make those floor mats with. A couple of big gigantic pieces of clump foliage. I don't want to use those. Because I want this to look like little bushes on the side of the street. That's what I want it to look like. Or I should say weeds. Maybe not bushes. Ooh, this looks like a good one. I gotta reach over there. Okay, clump foliage is done. All right, now let's do a little bit of flower application. Okay, we can do that definitely back here. Fields and fields and more fields. Okay, here we go. In this little area right here. Just to give it a little bit of something, a little some. Got a few divots here. Okay, that looks good. Now, to disguise the craziness of this tile, add a little bit more green to it. Okay. I think I'm going to do that here as well. Maybe here. There. This guy. Yeah. I think these tiles underneath need a little love as well, so. Right in the middle. Sure, this one. Whoops, that's a little heavy. It's all sticking already, but I still think it was a little heavy. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, I think that's all the flowers that map needs. Okay, now don't forget, there's probably going to be some fields over on this side, because there's going to be a house right there, and then this is going to be probably fields. There's going to be a patch of trees here, but no other trees on this row. Well, actually, except for the curve, and then there's going to be some fields here with some woods going in the middle, some orchards along the edge there, and then the town is going to be up here. All right. All right, well, that was it on making these tiles. I'm going to let them dry for days. I'm going to start working now on my trees and also finishing up the armies. I actually have a guard tower that's on its way. I got to put that together, a couple of buildings. I need to finish painting the buildings and finishing up the trees. But then we'll be ready to rock and roll, pretty much. So thanks for coming out and watching these live streams. Or if you're later watching it on YouTube, I appreciate that. If you want to like or subscribe to my channel on either YouTube or Twitch, I'd appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel, like get me modeling supplies and stuff like that, please support the channel as well. And you could hit the PayPal me link in the description below. All right, guys. Catch you next time.